A clap in anticipation. Our championship match. Carol-Gianotti with a win here moves right into the thick of the Player of the Year race against Dede Davidson, who has won 2 matches to get to this point.
Well, Carol-Gianotti with 1 title earlier this year could possibly make it 2. Whichever player here wins tonight, Bill, will go over the $200,000 mark in their career. So a big accomplishment for either player.
Davidson's 15th strike of the night. She had 7 in her first match and 7 in her second.
And she'd like to have at least 7 in this match.
Carol-Gianotti coming into the tournament number 3 on the money list. Her 8th television appearance this year. Just 9 days ago was home in Perth, Australia. And maybe a little jet lag on that shot.
A little slower, ball breaking extremely hard in the back end. Carol-Gianotti led every round except the first round of match play. She qualified first with a 208 average. Using leverage and axis weight throughout most of the week. A combination. Axis weight, for those of you out there not sure of these type of balls that are weighted, axis will roll very early, nice even roll. Leverage, on the other hand, goes a little longer, flips very hard. A ball she's been throwing is right in between the two, gave her great ball reaction, led the field.
Left the 7, however. 2 of her 3 career titles, as we've talked about, have come from the number 1 position. 1 in New Orleans earlier this year from number 1. A strike in her second frame. And 1 in Hammond, Indiana, back in 1989.
Dede Davidson taking a look at the rack. Well, that's what she mentioned to me, you know, how nervous she gets on television, but she does have, I mean, 2 and 1. I'll take that from the number 1 seed. That's a good record.
One of Davidson's best runs ever on television. Looking to start with 2 straight strikes.
Oh, nice shot. 5-pin slices right in front of the 10-pin. Really could have put the pressure on Carol there.
How hard do you think it will be for Gianotti to adjust to what has been a very difficult lane condition?
Well, she's not been on, you know, the way she throws the ball, Bill, is quite a bit different than the other players. She's very straight, very far behind it. She can just play right in that track area, right up and at him. And we've seen the other 2 right-handers play on the far outside, right around the 5-7 board. So she's playing in a whole different area of the lane than they did. Just depends on the read she got during her practice.
Davidson got the 10. Yeah, it went, Dede. You got the spare there.
We'd like to thank a chiropractor, a local chiropractor, Dr. Joe Irwin. He was here all week working on the girls, and it's really nice to have the local chiropractors help us out.
Does he work on the announcers, too?
I wish. You know, I've had a neck ache here for a while, too. Jan Schmidt went every day, and she feels that it helped her make it.
3rd frame for Davidson. Leaves a 4.
Little pressure building up here, not getting a good release coming over the ball.
Fatigue play into this at all? Davidson's been out there a while now.
I wouldn't say fatigue. I don't think these players tire out after a couple games. You know, when you're bowling a format of 42 games throughout the week and you bowl 6 and 8 game blocks, after 2-3 games, it's not fatigue, Bill, but it can be pressure and it can be the lights and the heat, and I think there's too much adrenaline going on right now. Keeps you from getting tired out.
Knocks down the 4 for a spare. Gianotti now coming up for her 3rd frame. Picked up bowling in Australia after some Americans came over to play. She said a lot of Australians don't bowl because it's so expensive over there.
Oh, that's right. She was mentioning it was $300 or something like that for a bowling ball, $4 or $5 a game. She's got to make the money over here to be able to go home and practice, right?
A double for her.
Well, Carol-Gianotti doesn't have to worry about getting bowling equipment. She does work for a bowling ball manufacturer. She's on the Brunswick staff. And speaking of that, we'd like to wish Casey Johnson, who is with Brunswick, well wishes. He's leaving Brunswick and moving to Iowa to venture into his own business. So everybody out here will miss him. He's been a great fan of the women's tour. Good luck, Casey.
Tough shot there for Gianotti. Dede Davidson, as has been her custom throughout, doesn't want to watch.
Well, 4-9, you know, ball's breaking extremely hard, just drives through the pins. Ball's supposed to be 5-pin, does not take out that 9.
Leaving the 9, Gianotti is her second open frame. And again, maybe the weight, the long layoff here. She has definitely not been sharp through 4 frames. Dede Davidson now up by 14.
Dede Davidson taking a re-rack. Once again, players are allowed 2 re-racks.
Dede re-racked.
Davidson beating Debbie McMullen 224 to 174, and then she beat Dana Miller-Mackey 220 to 205. So she's been over 220 in both her matches. Fourth frame for her.
Getting that ball to go nice, long and straight, but just really hooked off at the last minute. She's looking at it. Lanes could be breaking down a little bit on the left side now. There's been a lot of play. We've had 2 left-handers playing. She's going to see a little bit of a change.
Leaving the 247 in that left-hand lane.
And you know, we've seen a lot of spare conversions or a lot of spares chopped tonight. Ball breaking real hard in the last 5 feet of lane.
And she's had a tendency throughout the career to have a difficult time picking shots up like this.
Right now is not the time to miss it. And as I mentioned, the chopping. I can't believe how many we've seen tonight by pretty much all the players.
Leaves a 4-7.
Just clean cuts this 2-pin right off the 4.
She had talked about how this has been a problem for her, something that she had tried so hard to correct, but right there, unable to convert the spare.
When players trying to, you know, get balls that actually flip a little bit in the back end, sometimes it works against them when they go and shoot their spares.
5th frame now for Davidson, down by 1 pin.
Very close championship match, 1 pin difference.
Davidson leaves a 7. A lot of fun here this week. The artistry of Meg Winslow, and look at that. Yes, Leila Wagner. How did you spend your summer, Leila? Well, with Ryan and Alex.
I just love this. I had to buy it, and there's Meg. She did wonderful characters of all a lot of the players, and they were just fantastic.
You look pretty good with the babies here. And the microphone, I might add.
Bad thing is that's how it is. They're hanging on.
Davidson with the spare as the 7 goes down. She's down by 1, though, however. Gianotti now in the 5th frame. She's had 2 strikes and 2 opens.
Her last 3 shots, though, have been in the pocket. The 4-9 was a pocket shot. She's moved in. She's right in that track area. Good ball speed, good reaction.
A strike. Talk about nerves. I mean, she's been on TV. This is her 8th time this year, but yet coming in only 3 and 5. So she has not been spectacular on television, even though she's been here a lot.
Well, she says, you know, I haven't really been able to get over that hump, and the lights still make me nervous. And she'll get over it here the more she wins. And she's bound to. She's really dedicated to the game. You know, it's got to be hard for her to come over and spend 5 months or 3 months at a time away from her family, away from her friends. And but she's dedicated to bowling, and this is all she does when she comes over.
Leaves the 2-5. This is her 6th frame.
Trying to go very, very straight at it, but the ball does not hook up. We're seeing the opposite reaction there of the other players who have been chopping it.
Her 3rd open frame here.
She did not want to chop it, really gave that a flat release, taking the 5-pin right off the 2. She knew it. She said, wait a minute. That ball didn't hook.